Are you ready to talk about tapping? I'm Erin Copelan, best-selling author of Welcome to Caregiving, the things caregivers never talk about. And today I'm going to be offering you a little example of a tapping sequence and how to create your own scripts. So, also known as emotional freedom technique, tapping is a pattern interrupter. It's a somatic intervention, if you will. And it helps us break up negative thought patterns and beliefs, and it helps us to begin to rewrite those stories, filling in those spots that used to be filled with all kinds of icky negative emotions, and replacing that with some love and gratitude, like replacing the ick with some warm and fuzzy. So it helps us retell the stories in our minds so that our thoughts don't get us so crazy. If you are a reader of my weekly Hump Day newsletter, you will know that recently I wrote a whole newsletter about how I was obsessing over shampoo. So the backstory is I had a shampoo. My hair is shorter. I don't have to wash it a ton. Like I don't have to wash it every day because it gets so dry. And I probably had the same bottle of shampoo for like 2 years. Anyway, it ran out and they don't make it anymore. Okay? And I know you have all experienced this. Men, women, however you identify, you have found the thing that you love, and then someone decided not to make it anymore. Now, there had been some other things that week that just had me off kilter, and I started to obsess about the shampoo in a very unhealthy way. I was researching, I was checking out different brands, I was reading all the reviews, like those Cosmopolitan magazine reviews, like the 10 best shampoos for thin gray hair. I was reading them all. I was researching, do I want like natural shampoo? Do I really care anymore what is in my shampoo? But I do, but I don't want to think about it. And I just spiraled. I was spiraling. And as part of that experience, I ended up with at least 3 shopping carts open with all different shampoos. And by the end of it, I got so overwhelmed that I abandoned all of my carts and I didn't buy any shampoo. Now, don't worry. I actually found a spare shampoo in my house, which is not the one that I like, but I have some shampoos. So I have clean hair, but I bought zero shampoo, and so the whole thing it's not over yet. It's not done. And so I'm going to use this story as my example for both my tapping script and to show you how to use tapping, what the tapping points are. I'm going to take you through the whole thing. And then by the end of it, you'll have an idea of how to create your own scripts and do your own tapping so that you can get out of these spirally situations too. So here we go. Step 1 is our discomfort scale, our distress scale. And that is, it's like what they give you at the doctor's office or the hospital or anywhere. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And in this case, 1 is, I'm like totally chill. Like I am unaffected by shampoo, as we would all strive to be unaffected. 10 would be like, it's unbearably uncomfortable. Like I can't get out of bed because I'm thinking about the shampoo. So that is our scale. And ideally when we do almost any kind of technique, but specific to tapping today, when we complete a round of tapping, ideally we would like to see some downward shift. So I actually have not tapped this out yet. I was waiting to make this video for you guys before I tapped it out. And so since I just described the whole scenario to you and knowing that it's still out there and I don't have a solution to it, I can feel it. I feel it in my chest a little bit, just that longing to have it completed. And so I'm going to put myself like on a 6 on the distress scale. Now, step 2 is to come up with our setup statement. And this is kind of the most important part if you're going, like, you can't do this wrong. So don't worry about doing it wrong. You can take little notes, follow along with me, like play along, whether it's shampoo or whatever's on your mind, but you can't really mess it up. Now, the setup statement is the thing we're really going to focus on. And if you find that you're not making shifts on your scale, it might be that you need to come back to this point and tweak that setup statement so that you're really tapping into the thing that's bothering you. Now, let's go through this for a second. Is shampoo really the thing that's bothering me? I'm going to go with no, because when we're feeling big emotions, those big negative emotions, it's usually not the little thing that we're really upset about. It's usually something deeper. And so it's not really shampoo. So let's think about what it is. So I have a shampoo that I like. Somebody discontinued it. Ooh. So maybe there's a story that people take away things that I love. Okay, so I feel that one. It was kind of a big jump. You might take smaller steps as you're getting used to doing this. I tap kind of a lot, and so I'm used to making the big jump. Not shampoo. Must be that people take away things that I love. Okay. So let's keep going. I mean, so what does it mean if I don't have shampoo? It means if I don't have a shampoo that I like, I might have like heavy, greasy hair. I might look messy and unkempt. I might not look as pretty. What if people won't like me if I'm not as pretty? What if they don't want to hang out with me? What if they don't want to do business with me? What if, okay. I got it here in my chest, so that longing. I'm going to go with longing for like human connection. I feel a little bit in my throat, like little like sadness of the possibility of being abandoned. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to make my setup statement. So remember, we're going to take the something icky and we're going to replace it with something like warm and fuzzy, because we don't want to just leave the hole. So my warm and fuzzy, what I usually go to is the statement, I love and accept myself. You can make it whatever you want it to be. If that feels like not authentic to you, pick something that you like. Just whether it's love, whether it's appreciation, whether it's gratitude, but whatever the thing is, we want to plug that warm and fuzzy in. So here is my statement. Even though people won't like me if I'm not pretty, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And so now we're going to ground that in. So we're going to take the karate chop point on your hand. You can use just 2 fingers. Sometimes I do 3, but 2 is all you need. And we're going to breathe into that. And then just follow along with me, because we're just going to move through the tapping. So first we're going to go through that statement 3 times while we're on this point. Even though people will not like me if I'm not pretty enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though people will not like me if I'm not pretty enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though people will not like me if I'm not pretty enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And now we're going to go through the tapping points. It's a glasses off situation. Again, you cannot mess this up. People do all different points. If you watch different people tapping, they're going to do different points. 5 to 7 times on each point. And we're just going to state like one word from that setup statement, just to keep our brain engaged with what we're doing. Otherwise, we're going to think of the shopping list. I'm going to bring myself back one more time. Even though people won't like me if I'm not pretty enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. If I'm ugly, people won't like me. I'll be left alone. Be abandoned, like that empty shopping cart. No one ever coming back to get me. Side of the thumb. I'd be all alone. Life would be so lonely alone. I had no community. Skip the ring finger. Now we find the soft spot in between the ring and pinky finger and go through this exercise. Close your eyes, open your eyes, look down hard left, look down hard right, circle your eyes clockwise, just your eyes, circle your eyes counterclockwise. Hum for 5 counts. Count for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum again. Breathe. One more cycle. If I'm not pretty enough, people might leave me. I would be all alone. I'd be so lonely. I would feel really sad. What would I do by myself? All because I'm not pretty enough? All because I'm not pretty enough? Skip this finger. And breathe. And that's one round of tapping. So I've been together with you for, put my glasses back on, 8 minutes. The tapping part was maybe 5. That was one round. At this point, we go back to our distress scale. I started at a 6. I feel like I'm at a 4. I still feel a little bit. I'm gonna say, because I was half in it, maybe I would have gone down to a 3 that I was explaining while I was doing, but definitely down on the scale. So I might be able to shop for some shampoo without getting all emotionally charged. It also tends to be thirsty work. You might find that you yawn after, which is kind of like your cells regenerating, realigning. You might feel thirsty, feel super thirsty right now. But remember, you can't do this wrong. And if you find that you haven't moved quite enough or to your desire on that distress scale, you might need to do a couple more rounds of it. And you can keep the same setup statement. Maybe you need to tweak the setup statement. Maybe a better setup statement would have been, people take away things that I love. I know some people who just completely go through and with every series of tapping, they wrap it up with a full statement, even though I'd be left all by myself and nobody would love me anymore. And I'd feel like that empty shopping cart. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. There's people that do it that way too. People do the top of the head. People tap both sides. People tap forehead here. Like, you can't do it wrong. You can't do it wrong. And sometimes, particularly if my tapping involves like the energy of another person, and maybe in this case, I would like to forgive the company who discontinued my shampoo. And so sometimes I'll finish with the Hawaiian mantra, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So sometimes the combination of reducing the charge of the situation combined with some forgiveness just allows us to release even more and feel more present and more grounded. And so that is your just quick tapping 101. Again, the steps are number 1, identifying where you are on the distress scale. Number 2, establishing your setup statement. Number 3, tapping through the points. Number 4, going through the scale again. And number 5, repeat as necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy as that. 5 minutes. You've got this. Enjoy. If you have any questions, want to connect with me further, visit my website at erincopelan.com.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.